Hi guys, I'm Courtney from Cocoro Crochet, and if you don't know me, I make really cute plushies and sell them at markets and online. So for today's video, I wanted to talk about predicting what will sell well at your open markets, craft fairs, or wherever you sell your plushies. I want to start by saying that predicting what will sell well is really hard to do, especially as a beginner. I recently made a YouTube short as well about my top 5 best sellers, so if you're interested, go check that out on my page. And if you'd like a longer video about my best sellers, let me know in the comments below. The main thing that you can do is trial and error. Also just do what you can. When I was first prepping for my first open market, I constantly felt like I was just running out of time, like I didn't have enough time to make all of the plushies that I thought I would need to feel well prepared. A huge part of that is also that I am a full-time student, so really I was just making what I had time for at the time for my first open market and trying to make as much as possible. One of my main focuses was on smaller plushies. They tend to be more affordable because they work up more quickly and because they're so small. They don't take as many materials, they aren't as complex as some of the larger plushies, so I can price them more affordably while still pricing them fairly, which is really important to me. So I would say that smaller plushies tend to sell well regardless. These are like the little whales and octopi and little donuts or whatever it is that you can make that's really small, works up under an hour. Usually those are going to sell better. As far as the bigger, more expensive plushies go, it can be pretty hit or miss. One thing that I kind of learned in selling at markets is that my customers at each market are unique. If I bring a purple cow, someone at one market may come and find it really cute and decide to buy it, but someone at another market may not be interested in it, and that's okay. So that's one thing that I think is important to keep in mind. If you've had plushies that you have been trying to sell and they're just not selling, don't worry about it because eventually someone will come along and they'll be interested in it. A prime example of this is that I brought this little cute Shiba puppy. I think it's really cute, and it's wearing a little apron with a little strawberry on it. I made that for my first market, and I had, I think, 6 or 7 markets this year, and no one bought it for the first several markets. Someone finally came and bought it at my Christmas market for full price. I didn't need to mark it down, and someone bought it, and that's something to keep in mind. You may have a plushie that you think is really cute and it's just not selling well. Eventually it will sell. Someone out there will come along and find it really cute. Your customers are all unique, and that's what makes it really hard to predict what's going to sell well at these markets or even online, because everyone's unique. Everyone has unique styles, everyone has unique interests. Really all it takes is for that customer that's interested in that specific product to find your business and to find a way to purchase it. Whether that be finding you online and ordering from your online store, or finding you at an open market or a craft fair, and finally being united with this piece that speaks so well to them. So don't get discouraged if you've made a bunch of something and it just hasn't been selling. Eventually it will sell. It may take some time, but that's okay. Another thing you can do to predict what will sell best at your markets or your craft fairs is to do a lot of research on the specific market that you've applied to or that you've been accepted into and that you're selling at. I've sold at markets that are geared more towards families. Lots of parents come in with their children, and so a lot of my smaller plushies, a lot of my kid-safe plushies without safety eyes sell pretty well at those markets. I've been to markets that were in an area that is highly populated by college students. And because they're college students, a lot of times they wouldn't have as many funds as the established families would have. So because of that, my smaller plushies would sell really well at this college area craft fair that I was doing as well. So that's something to keep in mind. Research the market that you'll be selling at, research what kind of population it kind of brings in, what kind of, folks live in the area. If you have the opportunity, I would highly suggest actually going to the market on a day that you're not selling and just checking out some of the other booths, especially booths that sell things similar to what you're selling. Check out the crowd, kind of make note of, how old the crowd generally is. Are there a lot of kids, or there a lot of college age students? Are there a lot of just adults? just check out the market as best you can. If you have that opportunity, it's a really awesome opportunity. That also gives you the opportunity to kind of check out the ways other folks are setting up their booths. You can check out the supplies that folks are using in terms of, are they using sandbags on their tents? Are they using actual weights on their tents? What shape are their tables set up in? Things like that. You can gather a lot of information just by going to the market that you'll be selling at. And then once you have information, particularly about the kind of customers that that market attracts, then you can kind of start crafting things that are more in alignment with those customers. I'm a huge advocate of just making what you want to make what brings you joy, and I guarantee you someone else out there will also find joy in that thing. So everything that I make, whether it sells or not, I'm happy to keep it if it doesn't sell, because I just love it so much. I think they're all so cute. I don't make anything that I feel like I absolutely need to sell because I don't want it for myself. Most of the time, if I make something, I actually really want to keep it, and it can be very hard to let it go to my customer and let them take it home. Checking out the audience that the market brings in also can give you a good idea of the prices that will sell better. So for me, when I'm selling things to families, a lot of times the smaller price, actually just in general, lower priced plushies sell much better with any population because they're more affordable. But also, a lot of times people don't want to buy the more expensive things for little children because they know that like a kid is probably gonna ruin it. They're probably gonna get it dirty or rip it or whatever it is. Kids tend not to take very great care of their things, or a lot of times kids will have a toy that they really love and then they've moved on to the next thing and they don't care about that old toy anymore. So there are a few things that you can do to kind of better understand the audience that will be there, the customers that will be there. Focusing on smaller plushies because they always sell better than the more expensive plushies that are bigger. But ultimately, a lot of being able to understand what will sell better and what won't is just trial and error. Bring the things that you have. If you haven't made anything yet, make a bunch of small stuff and then make some bigger things that you feel are really cute and special. And then bring them to your next market. Take note of everything that sells and everything that doesn't sell, and then use that information to prepare better for your next market. So if you only brought 5 little whales and they all sold out, maybe bring 10 next time. If you brought 5 larger cows and only one of them sold, maybe you don't have to make as many for the next market. So just taking in information, analyzing all of the data that is available to you, and making decisions based on that. You can also think seasonally. Sometimes people don't like to make seasonal plushies because if they don't sell, then they're kind of stuck with them until the next season comes around. But in the summer, for example, my ice cream turtles sell super well. They even sold well in the winter, but honestly, this is my first year of selling them, so I don't have enough data yet to determine if they're things that I should focus more so on the summer and just not bring in the winter. But also the winter is a little bit complicated because holiday markets, Christmas markets sell really well regardless. People will, if you bring something, people will buy it because they're, it fits for their wife, or it fits for their boyfriend, or it fits for their kids or their niece, or whatever it is. People are looking to buy in the wintertime for their presents, for gift giving and all of that good stuff. So that can also be a difficult thing to gauge. Because if you start selling in the winter, for example, if you start selling at a Christmas market, you will do so much better than you will for the rest of the year, most likely, depending on the markets that you're selling at. Now, if you start selling, in the spring at an anime convention, then you might sell really, really well because that is a huge customer base. There's a lot of foot traffic at those types of events. So yeah, think seasonally. If you have plushies that have anything to do with the summertime, maybe you have like ice cream themed plushies like my ice cream turtles. Maybe you have, underwater sea creature plushies. Those are probably going to sell really well in the summer as opposed to, if you make Halloween themed plushies. My ghost keychains are one of my best sellers for the Halloween season. I don't know how well they would do outside of that because I haven't tried to sell them outside of that season. I think people really like ghosts in general, so they probably would sell well. but they are especially a focus for my Halloween season. Those were definitely my best sellers at my Halloween markets. And then of course, if you make Christmas themed plushies or holiday themed plushies in general, those are going to sell really well during the holidays, but they probably won't sell very well during the summer. So those are some things that you can consider in trying to predict what you should bring to your open market, what you should bring to your craft fair, or even what you should put up on your website or your Etsy if you decide to do those things. Again, it's really hard to predict. A lot of it is just going to be trial and error. Bring what you like, see what sells well, and then keep that in mind for the next time. If you have any questions or if you think I left a good tip out, leave it below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, see you next time.